with that down and out of the way, let's move on to main topic number 4. And the fourth main topic today gets sent in to us by Geeky Gator, who writes, "Hey, John and gang. The filming locations for Spider-Man 3 have been revealed with the typical Atlanta, LA, and New York locations, but one odd location, Iceland. I've seen many people speculate that this means Kraven will be the villain because why else would they go to Iceland? Do you think this location really actually reveals anything?" All right. Thanks a lot for the question, man. And listen, obviously, so many of us are so excited about the fact that Sony and Marvel were able to get their crap together and come together, make a new deal to allow for at least a couple of more Spider-Man films with Spider-Man in the MCU until his ultimate departure, whenever and however that's going to happen. But for now, we got a couple more, and they're going to start shooting this new Spider-Man thing here within the next few months. The reports came out that we're going to have one of the locations be Iceland. Here's what I think about this Iceland, because immediately a lot of people start jumping to the conclusion everybody wants to look for meaning in everything. Did you hear they're starting shooting on a Tuesday? What does that mean? Did you hear that the guy's going to use a stick? What does that mean? I mean, everybody, and that's just our natural inclination as film fans, right? We instantly start looking for what does it mean? They're shooting in Iceland. What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means nothing. I don't believe it means anything. Now, obviously it could. I could be wrong about that. But as of right now, I don't believe that them shooting, like Iceland being one of their locations, means absolutely anything at all. And here's why. Because the months that they're shooting in for this movie, the months that they're going to be shooting this movie, there's not going to be any snow anywhere. There's not going to be any snow anywhere in the months that they're going to be shooting. Not in Atlanta, not in New York, and certainly not in Los Angeles. So all this tells me, seriously, the only thing that them shooting in Iceland tells me is that they need a set that's going to have some snow. That's it. That's all it tells me. They could go to Iceland and make Iceland look like New York if they wanted to. They could go to Iceland and make Iceland feel like Chicago if they wanted to, depending on their set constructions and all that kind of stuff. Now, it could very well be, there is a possibility here that Iceland could in fact be Iceland in the movie. That's possible, but it certainly is not a certainty by any stretch of the imagination. Just because they're going to Iceland to shoot there, that does not mean it's Iceland in the movie. It very well could be Toronto. It could be Calgary. It could be, I don't know, it could be Vermont. It could be North Carolina in the winter. Does North Carolina have a winter? I have no idea. I don't know my U.S. geography. But it could be anything. The only thing that them shooting in Iceland definitively tells us, I believe, is that there's some scene or section of the movie that needs snow, and that's it. Just because it's in Iceland doesn't mean it's Iceland. Guess what? They shot a lot of Doom Patrol and a lot of Titans in my hometown of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. It wasn't Hamilton, Ontario, Canada in the shows. Just because they need something there, it doesn't necessarily mean everything. Now, at the same time, I want to make sure to be clear that it doesn't exclude the idea that it could actually be Iceland. Like they're going to Iceland because it's going to be Iceland in the movie. I'm not saying that idea is excluded at all. I don't think it's likely, but it's not excluded. It very well could be Iceland. And if it is Iceland, then maybe there's some narrative possibilities about why this movie and there are scenes and sections of this movie taking place in Iceland. That is all still on the table. It's absolutely a possibility. But I think the bigger probability here, they just need a location with snow. They just need a location that's going to be actually cold and actually have real snow on the ground to give it some authenticity. That's all it tells me. So it could be Chicago, it could be Boston, it could be Detroit, it could be any of these places whatsoever. It doesn't need to be Iceland. So I don't think any of us as film fans should get too caught up in the speculation of wondering of, they're shooting in Iceland. Does this mean Kraven is going to, I don't think we should go too far down that rabbit hole yet. Maybe at some point we'll need to, but right now I don't think there's any need to go down that rabbit hole yet. Question is, guys, what do you think about this and that one of the shooting locations is in Iceland? I personally don't feel like it probably means anything, but there are possibilities there. How are you feeling about it right now? Jump down into the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys.